What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Junk. It appears that Tiffany Henyard is back weaving and sandling it up, spending over $85,000 for an event. But I want to get to that in a moment. Recently, she had a township meeting, and I just want a lot of the brothers and sisters out there to understand one thing. I know that we have a presidential campaign going on right now with Kamala Harris, and again, I'm not necessarily against female leadership. What I am noticing, though, with female leadership is you can hide behind femininity as an excuse for being accountable. Okay? They can do this. Men cannot do what you're about to see right now because no one can accept that. As a man, you're held to a higher standard. But I want you to hear how Tiffany Henyard doesn't take any accountability for anything.
Happening tonight, community concerns in Thornton Township and a push to regulate what some call out-of-control spending by Township Supervisor and Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard. NBC5's Lexi Suter has more on tonight's showdown between trustees and Henyard.
Good evening. There were many tense moments in tonight's meeting. At times, Supervisor Tiffany Henyard took on her fellow trustees when it came to money and expenses, even accusing some of them of spreading lies about her.
Please tell me how you're out of order. You're out of order. How do they operate, trustees? How do they operate?
There were countless interactions just like this, elevated voices and heated debates about spending and the lack of a new budget. Several of the trustees questioned much of the township's spending, while Henyard says she's cleaned its finances up.
Y'all thought that I was young, dumb, didn't know nothing, was going to let y'all come and manipulate me. I didn't do any of that. So because I didn't do any of that, you guys started this whole smear campaign.
At one point in this 3-hour meeting, Supervisor Henyard demanded Finance Director Robert Hunt read through more than 100 line items that many trustees wanted to get rid of. For example, thousands of dollars to Amazon,
$169.99.
thousands of dollars of cakes for community events,
102 Calumet Bakery,
and tens of thousands of dollars that were allegedly allocated for the one-day event, the Taste of Thornton Township.
We just had a couple events here in the past, month or so, that just extraordinary amount of money was spent unnecessarily.
As for upcoming events, the trustees voted to stop a few, including House Fest and Gospel Fest. Henyard accused the trustees of acting out of spite.
And right now, you guys are operating with hatred in your hearts. You're operating out of feelings. You're not operating with things that's going on, and I don't think that's fair to us. And I don't understand why it's a problem when we got a surplus in Thornton Township thanks to Supervisor Tiffany Henyard once again.
Now, let us talk about the spending of the taxpayers' money. Okay, she threw an event. Remember, she's already bankrupt her own city. She's a superintendent for Thornton Township, which is about like 18 cities in South suburban Chicago land area. Okay, check out these spending reports.
WGN Investigates obtained the bills through open records laws. They show Kiki Wyatt was paid $30,000 for a 30-minute performance. Rapper Jay Holiday made $20,000 for a half-hour set. Other costs, including comedians, bounce houses, staff, and equipment, add $35,000, meaning this single-day event cost South suburban taxpayers more than $85,000.
Now, let's get back to the female Democratic leadership agenda. And again, you know, it's looking like Kamala Harris has a very good chance of being president. But here's what you're going to find out. You see how Tiffany Henyard became the mayor, and then people found out that they couldn't hold her accountable to anything? That's all what's going to happen with Kamala Harris. And other female leaders, look at what Fannie Willis is doing. You know, you have the lady out there, LaToya Cantrell out in New Orleans. My problem with this is that whenever you try to criticize somebody for what they do, it's, well, I'm a black woman. I'm a strong black woman. Like, are y'all jealous? Y'all hating on me? Y'all just mad because I'm a woman. Same thing with Meg Thee Stallion. You want to compete in male hip hop spaces, and then when somebody, you know, really challenges you on the fact that you're not a good lyricist, oh, well, you're saying it's because I'm a woman. And that's the problem, because, you know, when you have other people's lives at risk, and I'm talking about government, city, municipalities, things like water, things like city services like trees and police departments and budgets. We don't have time to sit back idly by and deal with somebody who's a lady and then basically are male, and you get to hide behind your femininity or your gender. You can't do that in public works or in public office. And this is what you're seeing right now, especially in Black America. Black America, we're all about putting women in positions of authority. Let's give women a chance. Black girls rock. And despite the fact of many of you guys out there, I do believe in giving women opportunities. Yes, I'm not one of those brothers that feel like because a woman is a woman, she needs to be, in the house all day and whatever. No, I think if a woman can do what a man can do, she should be able to do it. But here's the asterisk. We have to hold her to the same scrutiny and the same consequences that we would a man. And you know what the issue is right now? The world is not ready to do that. The Black community is not ready to do that, especially the liberal blacks. You're going to see many more talented ladies that are going to have great resumes, okay? Same thing even with Lori Lightfoot. Lori Lightfoot's an awesome attorney, historically. Went to, I think, University of Chicago Law School or University of Michigan Law School, one of the two. It's very good law schools. Terrible as a mayor. Then when you talked about, when she lost, well, it's because I'm a Black woman, that's why I lost. Are you serious? You're just a terrible mayor. You're the only mayor in the last 40 years in Chicago that didn't get 2 terms. Let's look at the facts of why people think you're a terrible mayor. And whenever you try to criticize women at all, it just makes such a painful conversation. And I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say this. A lot of men are avoiding conversations with women just in general. Shout out to Kevin Samuels and brothers that can actually have conversations where women get it, a man's point of view. But I'm gonna be honest, okay? A lot of men would rather avoid those conversations, especially in the Black community. I mean, you see your podcast here and there, but most Black men don't wanna talk about the things of the day. Most Black men are like, look, all right, y'all stay over there, okay? For those of you who act like Tiffany Henyard or whatever, you stay over there. I'm gonna go wherever I'm going, and we're not gonna have any sort of cooperation then, okay? It's just better you do that over there, and I'm over here. The problem is that when these Black men own homes in these cities like Dayton, Illinois, or you were in cities like Memphis, now this is the person that's actually ruling your government. So when you come to a meeting, a town meeting, when you're talking about the fact okay, you didn't do what you're supposed to do. And then literally the lady is not even looking at them. She's literally disrespecting them, not even answering their questions on her phone, not looking them in the eye, disrespecting, get this, older Black women. Forget y'all talking about how Black men like me are so misogynistic in our content. Have you seen Tiffany Henyard talk to Black women? Have you seen her? There is no Black woman on earth that is more misogynistic and disrespectful to women in her actions than Tiffany Henyard. And it just goes right underneath the rug. If it was a Black man, oh my God, Roland Martin, he'd be putting you all on his show. Oh, that mayor disrespects the Black woman. Oh my God, you would be all on CNN. They would have you impeached. Literally, your head would be on a stick. But the issue is, because you can't call this out because she is Black, and they can hide behind this crutch. So now the normal citizens can suffer because guess what? If you can use the advantage, why don't you use it? Okay, well, look, we're gonna run on the ticket that, hey, I'm a Black woman and I'm strong, I'm independent, I can do everything a man can do. Just give me an opportunity. Get the opportunity, then you can flip. And I'm not saying that all women do this, but if they would like to do this, they can do it more easily than a man can do it. And then you have these problems. You have people look at Dayton right now. Nobody wants to invest in this place. Look at how they carry out in these discussions. You have a mayor that's insane or behaves that way. So you can't bring new jobs to the city. You can't bring new economic development to the city. You're not gonna get good population growth. And if you could just point these things out underneath her leadership, and if you're a Black man saying that, you hate Black women. We gotta be able to separate the fact that the lady is in office and she's Black. That's one thing. It's great, you're Black. Okay, but now, what do you do? And I talk about this all the time as a Black business. You guys watch my channel. You guys have watched my channel for years, some of you. Did you remember how I started? Maybe like, you know, when I started celebrity, and I've been on YouTube for a long time, but when I transitioned to celebrity, you know, I wanted to upgrade, you know, my editing, try to make some things a little bit more presentable for the audience, my sound, everything. I never once thought like, well, I have a black audience, I could just put up whatever I want to put up and they can accept it. No, I felt like, hey, as a YouTuber that wants to be competitive and wants to have, you know, an audience that wants to receive good content, I need to step up my stuff. It's one thing to be a black business owner and think that people should support you because you're black, but it's another thing to actually be a black business and be good. And that's the problem. When we're black, we just want support because we're black, instead of being black and actually, okay, living up to the standard of being an African-American and performing at a high level. We're not seeing that with some of these female mayors in the black community. We're just not seeing it. And they're hiding behind the crutch. Why are you, you know, I'm a strong black woman, why are you talking about me? And then you think you're gonna get development in these places and you're not. Look at Atlanta right now, look at Fulton County, it's a joke. And who do you have in a lot of positions of power? You have people like Natalie Hall, who's literally lost $1 million because she was sleeping with a man. She was forcing him to clap her cheeks, and she's a married lady cheating on her husband with this guy, and she's still in office. How many stories do we have to talk about Fulton County where you have all of these guards getting their cheeks clapped by these men? It's always something in Atlanta or Fulton County, always. And it's always ridiculous, and it never makes sense. But now, if you decide that you want to talk about this, you're a hater, you dislike black women. So then what you do is you really decentivize the men, if that's a real word. Men don't even want to be, a lot of men who have sense don't want anything to do with this. You're real builders, you're real guys who would want to be in the community. They don't want to deal with that crap because it's below standard behavior. And this is why the black America is losing their men. You're losing your competent men by supporting foolishness because somebody is black or somebody is a woman or somebody is a pastor. Then you wonder why you don't have anything. You gotta have standards of execution. And black America gotta wake up. We gotta stop messing around. So guys, it's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all you do. Start the bell. We're out.